Hey guys, it's Ditto. Welcome to On Mondays We Makeup, and today we're talking about Instagram. A lot of you guys have been requesting and asking how I edit my Instagram photos. You guys have been commenting a lot of that and wondering kind of how I edit them, how I place them together, what filters I use, how I edited this one or that one, you know, whatever it is. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I've been excited to do this video because I always see other girls do this video and it looks like a lot of fun to make. So I'm really excited. If you don't already have me on Instagram, being that this video is about Instagram, go on Instagram right now and find me at IM_DYTTO. That's Ditto. And yeah, that's me. Go ahead and find it so that way you can kind of look at some examples. You can follow me if you'd like. If you don't want to follow me, fine then. But yeah, do whatever you want. So I just figured it'd be helpful to kind of look at some examples and that sort of thing. Alright, anyways guys, let's get into it. Okay guys, so first things first, I take 99% of my photos with this iPhone 6. It's not the 6 Plus, a lot of people think it is, but it has this really cute case that I love, and it matches my little Chanel background. I like it. So before we get into what apps and things I use for my photos, I want to talk a little bit about just taking photos in general. When you take a photo, lighting is the most important thing in my opinion. Basically what I always do is, because the 6 has a timer, I always go onto my camera. I keep it on the camera facing this way. I set the timer to 3 seconds and I put the flash on. So basically what I do is I press it and it goes 3, 2, 1. And that's how I take my photos. So of course that photo is really not cute at all. So anyways guys, let's jump into the apps that I use to edit my Instagram photos. Okay, so one app that I love using is VSCO Cam. That's what I call it. It's VSCO, and it is free, which is why I like it, because I'm a cheapo. So I'm also going to show you guys some apps that are really good if you want to pay for it, and then an app that I see as an alternative if you don't want to pay for it, because it took me 3 months to finally get over the $5 it was going to cost to get FaceTune. So basically what you can do is you can add a photo. So let me show you guys how I got to one that I posted yesterday. Okay, so this is the original photo, and the first thing I always do is find a filter. My favorite filters are F2 and C1. Sometimes I use Hypebeast 1 or Hypebeast 2, but it's kind of rare just because I like F2 so much. So then you can actually adjust the filter to however you want it. I usually do about 8 or 9 because I like the filter, but I don't want it to override it too much. So then what I do is I go into the tools to adjust the brightness, that kind of thing. A lot of my photos look bright because I use the flash, but I also kind of trick you guys. I use low exposure, so I usually go to about -2, -1. Very rarely do I go to -3, but sometimes, depending on the photo. Sharpen it up a little bit, maybe just 3 maximum, because I don't want it to look too sharp. Then I look like somebody just drew me and they're like, you're not real. The saturation I very rarely touch, but because I like this photo's colors a lot, I love the pinks and the blue in my eyes and the gray, so I'm going to put the saturation up to 1. So I'm going to go into highlights and shadows. What shadows does is kind of when you like fade a photo or you change like the black point, and it kind of just lightens it up in like a weird way. I don't know, it's not exactly brightening it or taking up the exposure, but it is just giving it a whole new look, and I really like it, so I do tend to do that a lot in my photos. Okay, and one thing that's really important about how to get the look that I have on my Instagram is the temperature and the colors. So I always take the temperature to -1 or sometimes even -2, and then I go into tint and go up 1 or 2, because that's going to give it just a pinkish kind of overlay on it, and I love that in photos because you guys know my favorite colors are like pink, blues, and purples and whites, so I always try to incorporate that in my Instagram photos to kind of create a theme. So the next editing app I go to is FaceTune, but also an app that I use as an alternative for FaceTune, well, before I bought FaceTune, because it's like $4. I mean, it's not a big deal, but at the same time, I'm like, why would I spend it on that when I could spend it on makeup? It's really dumb, but whatever. Open the photo really quick, and FaceTune is like the ultimate iPhone Photoshop. I honestly don't think this photo needs much because I like the photo. I mean, I don't have like crazy terrible skin. I don't have like, knock on wood, pimples popping out. You know, like, I'm kind of cool with it, but I am going to touch it up a little bit just so it looks the best it can be, because why not? Go to whiten, and because it makes your eyes look wider when you do this, I take the whiten and go into my eyes and whiten the outside of my eyeball. It's like a coloring book for your face. So this just makes your eyes look more awake, more bright, all that kind of stuff. Of course, you can go into skin smoothing, and you can do kind of level 1 skin smoothing, which is kind of just simple, makes it look really nice and clean, which I like this look on my photos. But I mean, if you have something like, you know, like a pimple or something like that you're trying to cover up, or like some acne, or like maybe your foundation wasn't on fleek that day, like whatever it was, you can use kind of the double smoother, which is going to be a little more intense. And also in FaceTune, like when you're editing something, the harder you press or like the longer you hold it, the more dramatic the effect will come out. So what I also do is go into details, which I think is really cool. I love details because even like when I wear like this watch in photos, I always detail the watch, and it makes it like stand out more instead of just being kind of there. It kind of has a really cool filter to it and just makes it like, it really sharpens it up, really makes it look nice and clean, and I just love the look it has. I go into my actual eye, the part that's blue, and I detail it. Sometimes I'll touch up my hair, just because sometimes my hair can get kind of washed out in photos, but it's still like whatevs. I don't want to do it too much because then it looks like I had 50 pounds of gel in it, so you'll have to be careful with that, but you can always erase it and that sort of things. Okay, so now I don't have red eye anymore. Thanks very much for blue eyes, because red eye is just wonderful, isn't it? And now I also use the filters on FaceTune because they have a few cool ones, and there's one that you guys have been asking about ever since I posted on my Instagram, so I'm going to show you guys that one, and it is in this app, okay? So I usually use either lighter, expose, or brighten, but the nice thing is if you just scroll down, you can kind of change the intensity of it, so I do that a lot. Okay, so let's do that. And then one other filter that you guys have been asking about that is on this app is if you go to lenses and you scroll all the way to the end, there's one called chromatic. And this is going to kind of make it 3D. Yeah, it just looks really cool. So I use that on a lot of photos, and you guys are always asking like, how did you do that? So it is in FaceTune, and that's how you do it. Because I know that can be pricey, and like sometimes it's just annoying to spend money on apps. It's not even like it's a lot of money, it's just annoying that you have to like pay to put on your phone. So I feel you on that. So if you don't want to use that, another one that I would suggest for the lighting and beauty fixtures and stuff like that is called Aviary. It is free, and it is one of my favorite things in the world. And also for collages and stuff like that, I don't use it every day, but I'm just going to tell you guys so you can explore with it. Pics is another one that I use for that, and it's just a bunch of fun. And all these apps that you see here are what I usually use on my photos. So yeah guys, that's a little bit about how I edit my Instagram photos. I hope this helped you out. Definitely how you edit them depends on your theme, depends on kind of how you want it to look, but like I said, in VSCO Cam is probably the best way that I would suggest kind of creating a theme and that sort of thing, just because there's so many effects that kind of will set a theme. So if you like one of the effects and you kind of just use it every time, it like makes your photos all look consistent. I look forward to seeing your guys' Instagram photos. Write your Instagrams down in the description. Let's all share Instagrams. And yeah guys, so also comment down below your best tips for Instagram. So yeah guys, that's it for this week, but I will be back on Wednesday with a fun video. And also I did put out a dance video last Friday, so if you want to check it out, I'll link it at the end of this video for you guys. So yeah, I think that's it, you guys. Okay, well, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @I_Ditto, and I'll go check out your guys' Instagrams. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.